It's March 25th, 2010. I'm Stephen Chenault. I work for Chenault James. Davis is joining us again today, and so is Mark. Today we want to talk about encumbrance. Over the years, we've had a few complaints over the encumbrance rules. A lot of folks saying they're too complicated or they don't understand them. I don't know that that's the case about the understanding side of things, but they are pretty complicated. So what we want to do is kind of talk about a better way of using encumbrance, and maybe even the background of it somewhat. When we first developed CNC, Davis and Mac didn't want the encumbrance rules in there, and I kind of insisted on them, on some kind of rules going in there. And Josh Tuning developed us some pretty solid rules. But anytime you do encumbrance, it's difficult to actually track it. It's just a difficult way. Even in AD&D, when we played AD&D back in the old days, it was very difficult to track the encumbrance. And its value in the game is, let's face it, it's limited. Basically, what you want to do as a CK is stop the characters from doing silly things. That said, adventuring across the countryside is a difficult thing to do. The amount of food you need, the amount of water you need, the weapons, the gear, the treasure you collect, up, down hills, through forests, through swamps, the whole 9 yards. It's just tough, no matter what you do. Because you've got a lot of gear to carry, and it's a lot of cumbersome gear. It's not like modern soldiers today who have a lot of gear, but gear is actually kind of built for their packs and all that. Most of the gear that your characters are carrying isn't really built for packs. It's built to hold in your hand. The great sword, the shield. I mean, we all talk about slinging the shield on our back, but really you can't sling a shield on your back if you have a backpack on. That's just not what happens. And then just not even to consider things about plate mail, the breastplate, what do they call, Mark? The to go on your arms and legs, all that. The bracers, all. It's a lot of metal, a lot of iron, a lot of cumbersome stuff. As you can see with Davis here, it's just a lot of stuff. So here he is, he's adventuring through the wilderness, in this case our office. He's got himself a box of treasure that he can't actually fit in his backpack because it's so filled with food and stuff, and now he's got his great sword. We got the broadsword, we got a mace, and we have a morning star around here somewhere. We got the great helm. And look, if he gets one more thing, he's not going to be able to move anywhere. So really, the thing to do with the encumbrance, here's the morning star. The thing to do with the encumbrance rules, when you're reading through them and the complexity of the rule, it reads like a dagger would have an EV of 2 minus 1 EV due for their weight. As it goes on to say, giving them an EV of 1. Meanwhile, a 5 by 5 by 1 marble statue that weighs around 100 pounds would have an EV of 5 plus 5 EV due to... Yeah. Just stop reading. Skip backwards a couple of paragraphs and reference this sentence. The easiest manner to determine how much a character can carry is simply to imagine what is being carried and decide whether or not it makes sense to have that much equipment. That's really all you got to do. So CKs out there, just scrap the encumbrance rules if they're too complicated. Have a gander at your characters and make sure they're not carrying tons and tons of crap, and just call it a day.
Anyway, that's the difference between wearing a lot of stuff and not. That it? Yeah.
All right, so there you are with a few demonstrations on encumbrance, how easy.
Where the trolls reside, there's a Twitch channel where legends collide. Troll of games, spinning tales unseen, streaming Dungeons and Dragons in a world so unseen. With dice in hand, we venture through the night. The dungeon master weaves his magic with all his might, gathering warriors, wolves, and elves. Lost in a labyrinth, no one can tell. Gather round the screen, let the stories unfold. It's rolling armor, leading the way. Troll of games, we're here to stay. Troll of games, spinning tales unseen, streaming Dungeons and Dragons in a world so obscene. Trolling warriors, dwarves and armor, leading the way. Troll of games, we're here to stay. In the heart of the mountain, where the trolls reside, there's a Twitch channel.
Trollord Games. Join the fray.
We are live, but I see the screen is black. Is that good or is that bad? Who can say?
From the darkness comes Stephen
That's right.
Chenault.
Do you have the son of a biscuit eating?
Yeah, I just
There's
gotta
no
click on it.
video. And I don't know that they can hear. Can you hear me?
I can hear you all day long. I'm just reserving the right to control who sees you. Oh, great one.
There you go. Put that shit live.
Yeah, let me get that camera in there. I didn't hit the right button. Well, I didn't actually put it in. It's my fault this time. There you go. All right.
There we go. It is at last Tuesday, May 28th. It's the Wonder Dark. There you go. My name is Stephen Chenault, CEO of Troller Games, and we are here for an Ask Me Anything session, I believe is what we're doing. I was in the process of looking up something, and I'm going to finish that about right now. 8514. I'm about to set something on fire. It's pissing me off. It's going to be this store.
Oh God, don't even talk with me on that damn thing.
It's about to hit my last nerve.
Did you see where I had to go and make what I said about I have to make a product just to have a file download?
Yeah, well, I put in Arms and Armor up here the other day just to let everybody know. Chuck kind of runs the store, but we all jump in and help out when he was on vacation last week. So anyways, I put in Arms and Armor, and I very specifically put in the stock code for Arms and Armor, and I see that it is not in there. It did that stupid ass XXXX whatever template thing we got going, and it really irritates me. I don't know. It does this to us all the time. We put stuff in, it goes back, it undoes it. I don't know why. It's a troll lord world, I suppose. But I became aware of this about 2 seconds before the stream started.
That's ridiculous, man. That happens all the time.
I know it does, and it makes no sense to my extraordinarily tiny little brain.
We could do our stream about bitching about the store. Easy.
It's just weird because I don't know, and I know you did something the other day that it undid because you and I specifically were talking about it, and you were doing it while we were talking about it, and then it worked, and then it undid it. I don't know.
Just an hour, Johnny said. Well, I was being nice. I don't want no anyone to make it stand more than an hour of that shit.
Yeah, right. So how's everybody doing today? That googly goop aside, I am Stephen Chenault, CEO of Troller Games. This is May something or the other, 28th, I think. And this is Ask Me Anything. So if you have any questions about Troller Games, Castles and Crusades, Amazing Adventures, what we do, Kickstarters, whatever is going on around here, please throw it in the chat here, and we will do our best to tackle and answer it. This channel is why I'm on Twitch. to hear us grumble about the never-ending issues. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. All I'll say, I'll begin today's show with this. I've had this movie on my radar for a couple of weeks now called it's The Last Stop in Yuma County. I made myself watch it last night. I posted the trailer on the blog today. It is fantastic. Spoiler alert, it's not for the faint of heart. So, I mean, it's a great movie, great dialogue, great acting. The shots are beautiful, but it's got some stuff in it. It's just a fantastic movie. I enjoyed every minute of it. I've gotten to where these days I'll sit down and I'll watch a movie and I get kind of a little bored and my mind wanders and I start looking at Troll Lord stuff or reading some Lovecraft or looking at TikTok while I'm sitting there watching a movie, which means I'm not really watching it. But this Last Stop in Yuma County, I didn't. Okay. The only time I realized that I was a living human creature was when I finished my Dr. Pepper about midway through, and I thought, damn it, I don't have anything to drink.
All right, so you're saying make sure Stephanie watches.
I wouldn't watch it with Stephanie. I mean, I don't want to give anything away. I don't want to give anything away. Yeah, and it's not a hyper violent movie like I generally like, but not sure Stephanie would like it. Kathy, my wife, would not like it. So, but
no, I'm sure she'd like. Oh God, what now? You know how they do.
Head over to the blog.
They don't appreciate it. I will. I'll check it out. I'll say, what do you think, babe?
And thanks for the drink.
Yeah, it's good to be back, guys. Thanks. Lando, I'll answer this soon.
Thank you.
2 weeks. No, I actually just reached out to them. I was on vacation. They're going to get with me next week. We're going to have a little meeting to because they've changed a lot of stuff over there, but we've got to get the store synced up. And then I guess the first thing will go up will be S4, I think, is what we've got ready to put up over there. I'm not seeing any changes that we might have to do since they've upgraded to the latest version, which is 12. And then after that, I got to have to talk to Steve. We got to figure out which way you want to go with the development of it because I've got some changes we're looking at doing. But that's where we're at. We're actively working on it. How's that?
Yes, actively working on all of those crazy platforms. Wait, Chuck went somewhere. I've missed a lot of streams for the last couple weeks. Chuck had his official vacation last week. You went to Florida, right? I think that's where you went.
Yeah, prior to my tour of the southeastern hospitals of the U.S.
Well, that's a different vacation than you were on.
I actually worked more on that one. I actually worked more there because I was bored. You remember I was bored.
Well, I started sending you stuff on the phone, remember?
Worked out quite well, actually. So, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Chuck vacationed in Bug Tussy, Tennessee. Executive suite.
Yes.
Well, I gotta say, man, motels are great. I actually prefer personally. I prefer a motel over a hotel any day of the week. I like to be able to park in front of where I'm sleeping. I
Right.
can look out, check out my car. And I absolutely love to sit in a chair on the little sidewalk.
Oh, do
in
you
front of
really?
the hotel.
I can see
I
that.
do. I absolutely love it. Watch the
Versus
cars
wandering
go
through
by.
miles of corridors. I don't understand why you would.
Yeah. I can't stand all that stuff. I hate it. I hate it, but I don't like it. Don't care for it. If I had my druthers, it would always be a motel with my
Yep.
feet propped
Sitting
up.
out front with your boots up with a can of Dr. Pepper in your hand.
That's exactly right. And then I can watch the world tumble by, whether it's out in New Mexico watching the desert or if it's on a highway watching the cars zip up and down. It's just kind of cool.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Chuck had a vacation. Who signed off on that? Nobody did. He just texted me from Florida and said, "Hey, I'm in Florida."
Yeah, I said, tough shit, mofo. I'm out. No. It was good, though. I had a good time. It was very relaxing. My doctor and me had a long talk, and he wants me to start working on calming techniques. I get too worked up over stuff. I don't know. I think he's a liar, but whatever.
Chuck,
You know.
Chuck has that habit of getting worked up. I've been telling him for years.
Yeah.
All right.
It'll be all right.
Be all right.
All right. You're right.
I've been doing this so long, and so many things have been messed up after a while. Yeah, whatever.
I know. Yeah.
It's going to break. You're going to fix it. That's the way it is. Steven got my replacement CKG. Great customer service. I appreciate it. I'm glad that got to you. Shoppy, I know that it was Shopley. I know that it was a little bit of a bump in there. We've had some communications issues with the orders at Troller.com, but I believe that we have worked that out now. So yours kind of got caught in the fulcrum. There's about 3 that got caught in the fulcrum of that for a little while. Chuck gets worked up. Chuck about to rant about the doctor. Yeah, he has been ranting about the doctors for a while now. I kind of just tune him out. I don't know
Like 4 years ago.
Yeah, he jabbers on about it, and we let it go. So, sans any questions here, let me throw out. Chuck old enough to have a better rant. Let me throw out just some news. If you have not already, please sign up for the impending Kickstarter that launches on June 10th. That's next month. In like 10 days, 12 days, something like that. I can't remember how many days May has in it. But
broke.
Definitely be signed up for that if you want a PDF copy of the 10th printing for free. I will be sending that out about 2 days before. I went through Thursday and made my another pass at it, patched up the spell section, so that's all kind of done. Peter Bradley's working on a couple of pieces of art that he wants to get in there. And then the book is pretty much done. However, because there were some superficial changes in certain sections, I do want to get it out to some people to begin reading it over and look for any mistakes or whatever. Some of it I actually changed in the InDesign document, which you should never do. But there was no other good solution to it. So we're going to get it out there. And before we actually go to print, we will have it edited heavily. And then hopefully we'll get some feedback from you guys to say, hey, you need to put a comma here or whatever, apostrophe or whatever. I may have moved up. I got the $20 surprise pack of adventures. It was a very good assortment. That thing was packed. That was Chuck's idea. I told him we got to move this stuff, get it out here. I'm gonna throw it all in the recycle bin. And he said, hey, let's just put it in packs. And we I think there's 11 left or 10 left or 13 left or something like that. And so if you have not, they're only 5th edition. The CNC one's all sold out. If you have not picked it up, definitely head over and snatch that. But get signed up on that Kickstarter announcement and that Kickstarter page, whatever. I think Chuck put it here in the screen.
The bot,
definitely.
Evidently, the bot decided to just turn off on its own. Still turned off.
That's
great.
Right. We lost power over the weekend, and for some reason, it took all of my saved password out of everything.
Did it really?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even care anymore.
We'll try it one more time. Hey,
There
it works. It works.
I did. I went to log on to the bank app today to make a deposit for Trollord, and bank app wouldn't work. And I said, and I got in the truck and I just drove to the bank and I walked into the bank and I talked to a teller. I'm about here with it, with the whole technology that doesn't really work. It's kind of an illusion. It promises something that it can't deliver. I don't know. Either that or I'm an idiot and can't use any of it. Here is the obligatory what's the latest on TrollCon question. The latest is I have officially canceled TrollCon for this year. It is done and done and done. There was a couple of more prospectuses came across my desk this past week. I did not. I wasn't terribly amused with them, so I just canceled it. I said we're done for the year. So there will be no TrollCon this year. If it is, it'll be very sudden and very small and very contained, something like that.
But I am hoping that now we have a good year on us. Now we can do this the right way, nice and easy.
Well, there you go, Wolf Alone. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to make it this year, so now you're golden for next year. Ron screaming from the room. We will get it together. I'm going to have to sit down and write down a serious battle plan for it, so that expectations are set at a certain level.
Yes.
And the good news is, and I will go ahead and put this out here. I don't think I've told anyone in the company except Davis, though we've been skirting it. So this is always a good time to put these types of things out. I'm about 90% certain that we're going to begin re-releasing the Crusader magazine in the next 5 to 6 weeks. We're probably going to, I'm not sure if it's going to be a monthly or bi-monthly or twice a year, but right now we're looking at a bi-monthly. We've got the cover kind of done. We've got a good amount of content in it. So the Crusader will be rolling back out. We'll do a PDF version of it and special print copies, blah, 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 for people who want print.
I said, I'm going to throw my head in the ring and say quarterly.
Yeah, we'll see. I got, it's given,
start, you know.
Yeah, it's given TLG a solution to a long-standing problem, and which is good. And it gives us an outlet, I think, for a lot of material that we develop that never sees the light of day because it gets developed for one project or the other, and then just kind of gets shunted here and there. And then 7 years later, we find this file of crap that, why didn't we? This is cool stuff. Why didn't we put it out? Make sure that TrollCon plans include the UK. We'll do a parallel event here. Yes, Alan, that would be fantastic. I would love to get out there myself. Actually, probably will be headed to England in the next 6 to 8 months at some point.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter's husband, his folks are out in Essex. I think he's Essex. I think.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
Which gives you an obligatory visit every year now. So.
That's right. That's right. Great news on Return to Crusader. Yes, I'm very excited about it, and it really does help us with a lot of stuff that we've been struggling with here. Are you guys coming back to Gamehold Con in October? Should I bring the Mars bars? Definitely bring the Mars bars, Willie, and we will be there. Chucky's been working on that convention for the last couple of months, so we'll have games and all that.
Willie, come play with us. Come run a game. Hang out. Tell those dudes to go on. You can hang out with me.
Absolutely. And thank you for the subscription, Vic Danger. All right, so there's about 2 announcements. We got the Crusader back on track. We've got whatever else I said. I can't remember now what the other announcement was, but it was something. Yes, the Crusader will be in print and PDF. Print it, you can get the PDF or the print and PDF, and it'll be like Volume 5, Issue 27 or something. I can't remember where we're going to pick up.
28, I think 28.
28. Yeah, we're going to pick up right where we left off and plunge on. I watched the old Jamie Farr Mars Bars commercial from back in the day.
Jamie Farr.
You can't hardly get Mars bars. I don't know anywhere in the States you can get them. I'm sure you can get them somewhere, but
Europe, I'm sure.
I've not had a Mars bars other than what Willie brought me at Gamehold Con, and I missed him. I didn't even get to see him because I don't know what I was doing. Wandering around like a bum, probably. I see reminder art. I figured out how to speed up the process. That is all. I'll put it. Look, my list for tomorrow is blank.
What? That's a lie. Are you just making room for the unexpected?
Oh yeah. Well, I haven't. Today was so. Today's a typical day. That I had one thing on the list from last week that I did not get done, and it was file. So the IRS had a refund, and it was a pretty substantial refund for overpayments that I had done on quarterlies, blah, blah, blah. And this has happened once before, and on the IRS notification, it said, if you want us to just send this money to you, don't do anything. So I did not do anything, and they never sent me the money. So this time, the refund was there, and it said, don't do anything or call this number. So I called the number. I got on the phone. They issued the refund. That's all fantastic. Very nice young lady. But then she said, hey, your FUTA taxes, which is your employment tax from 2020, 2021, and 2023 haven't been filed. And I thought, what the hell? I filed all that crap. And I looked, and it looked like I had filed it, but she said we may have lost it, or I may have lost it, or maybe I marked it filed. Who knows what happened to it? So today I went in. I thought food and taxes of all the paperwork you're going to do, the food and tax is probably the easiest. It's really not that very hard. So I got in there, and actually filling the paperwork out wasn't difficult, but I had to have the appropriate IRS forms from 2020, 2021, and 2023. 2023 was okay. That was easy. 2021 and 2020 was a little bit harder. I found them within seconds on the internet, downloaded them, wouldn't let me fill it in. Poked around, downloaded another one. It let me fill it in, so I filled it all out. Then it wouldn't let me save it. Then it wouldn't let me print it. And after about
Madness.
40 minutes, of unamused Steve, I printed it off and handed all of it. And I just next time I'm just going to drive out to Ogden, Utah, walk into the office, and say, "Hey, here I am. I need to fill this out."
That's how I got that urology appointment. I literally just said, "Here, give me all the information. I'm going there now." "Well, you need to go home, and I'm going there right now." And after I realized they had the wrong phone number and the wrong address, even though it was in the same hospital, I went there and I found them. It took me an hour. I tracked them down.
I don't know what's going on with software engineers, but nothing's working anymore. Just nothing.
Why do you think me and you love post-apocalyptic shit so much? You know
I mean? just let it in. For God's sake, just let it in. I'd love to have the compendium of the previous ones. We sell PDF compendiums online. You can get those now, or you can get them individually. And we will bring back those compendiums that we did, because we used to sell them all. I think it was 12 in one and 12 in the other.
Yeah, whatever, half and half. Yeah, that's what I was telling Alan, because I think he wanted to maybe get them in stock over there. And I said, "Yeah, we're talking about it. Get them up."
So we'll definitely do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. Anyway, so that is just typical day. You start off, I'm going to get this done in like 5 minutes. So nothing got added to my list until that was done. And then there was a gigantic Amazon order, and I had to tackle that because we were missing some product. I had to go down there. Suddenly it was 3 PM. I was like, sweet mother of, anyways. But there you go. The good news is, the new wave of t-shirts came in. So they're red. We did the cardinal red. So we're restocked in t-shirts. So that's a good thing. So if you're looking for your Castles and Crusades t-shirts, pick it up now. Nobody in the IT industry bothers with R&D anymore. Micromark's new website is a perfect example of it. David, this is what I think is, I don't know anything about software engineering, but I do know that a lot of the software that we use seems to be missing things that the end user needs, or it was there before, or what have you. I think there is a lack of communication between those who are implementing it and those who are designing it, and it's not those who are using it, and it's not hitting all the things. And I don't understand why. I don't understand why stuff just stops working. I mean, my bank app has worked for months, and then it just stopped working. I don't know.
So hear me out on this. June 21st, 1948 was the very first software program. Almost, what is that, 75 years? They still haven't got it. I mean, I'm not sure that's their plan.
Yeah.
I think the ideal is there's always something that needs to be.
I can tell you this, so I've really had to fight this urge. This weekend I was up on the river, and I was looking at the phone, and the phone was just irritating me. And I was looking at it, and I thought, and I'm usually, when it comes to things, I'm pretty reactionary. I'll have a thought, and I immediately do it, and I don't think about it again. So I'll break something, I'll just break it, throw it away, move on. And I almost threw that phone into the river. I was just going to throw it in the river. And I thought, $600. Stop. Don't do that. Don't do that. $600. Don't throw it in the river.
Yeah, the next one cost you $1,600.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't throw it in the river. And then today I was texting my daughter, and the phone just stopped. It just wouldn't open. The little text bubble thing wouldn't open. So I did my tech support, which is I threw it in the air and it hit the desk, and I threw it in the air again and hit the desk, and I threw it in the air again, and it started working.
Perfect.
I figured I'm just going to bash this thing to pieces. I need to quit using it. I'm going to get my rotary dial phone. I'm going to put it back on my desk. If people want to text me, they can write a letter and I'll read it. That's what I'm going to do.
I know when I was teaching
$600
school.
plus Fish and Wildlife will come for visiting if they
Oh.
yeah, no kidding.
When I was teaching school, I'd bring a rotary phone in and watch the kids. They were like beat on it and stuff. They're pushing, trying to get it to work.
Yeah.
It was too technology advanced for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, advanced. Violent salt, yeah, Sparky. I really think violent salt is just kind of the thing. River seems to loom large in a lot of Steve solutions. Yes, they do. I'm always like that. I don't have thought. Don't do it and everything. That's what I do. I just do it and I'm done and I move on. I just don't care. I don't know. There's so little that I care that much about. Phones are way down on the list of things that I care about. Arthur Phones are the School of Technology. Who are you getting? You won't read that letter. You
Gothar rolls in.
Probably so. I don't have it covered.
I think Jeremy's got our number, Steve.
I think there's some value to the way people settled the Old West. They just went out there and they built a sod house and they stayed there until they died. The rotary phone co-started a lot of deal. It did. I love that rotary phone. I still got it. Though I don't think the technology supports it anymore. I think that it's not digital. Is that what it's called? Digital?
Oh, at this point, it's an item that you can display. And it's probably people's gonna think it's worth a lot of money. You know what I mean? Because it's
probably,
it's a collectible.
It used to be the phone lines were analog and they would support, but up until I think in 2010 or 12 they went. Is it digital that they went to? And they don't support analog. So even if I hooked that phone up, it wouldn't work. That's my understanding.
It'll be screaming like a modem. The old modems.
You can make those old phones work, but you need a tone generator IIRC. I like where you're going with this, Sparky. I like it. I miss the feeling you get when you could slam the phone down the receiver. Cannibal, you're 100% right. But even more importantly, and I don't want to criticize anybody, right? Whatever design, whatever. But who designed this? What kind of moron? The old phone had a grip. You had a grip. One part went to your mouth, part went to your ear, and then you could just talk all day. You could do this and talk all day, but how am I supposed to grip this? This is why people are always dropping these flat little, I don't know.
And you have to buy
I will say
one.
this.
Hey.
I will say this. I use it for this all the time. It is a fantastic coaster. I promise you, it is a fantastic coaster. I use it as a coaster constantly.
Oh, wow, man. That's a trip. Oh, my God.
I missed the feeling. Yeah. Anyway, old timer rant done.
Back in my day. Oh, my God.
That's right, King Color. Holding a phone is a fine motor skill. It is definitely that, and I definitely do not have it. I can't count.
No, when you drop it in your car, you're done. It's in one of the crevices.
Yeah,
you forget it, man. Just keep driving.
It's got this black case on it. You're never going to see it again. It's just crazy.
No.
It's just crazy.
Unless you got one like mine, it's the size of a tablet, just about. So it's like.
Yeah, well, what's the point of having a small phone if
I don't
it's
know.
bigger than a rotary phone? I don't know. Take your fancy phone and get off my lawn. Exactly. Stephen was one of those apes. Yes, I was. Western Electric push button phone from the 70s, 80s I grew up with. And will pick up a dial tone, but won't dial out. There you go. Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things. I think that things break. They've always broken. Stuff always breaks. You got your brakes, your leaf blower breaks, your extension cord gets tearing, it doesn't work. But I think that with technology, there's so little that you
and think about the loss. Have you thought about the loss of horror effect in movies with this rotary phone? People are always getting killed with them. Now you're gonna see it with a cell phone. Now they throw it at you and you laugh at them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a regular rotary phone was terrifying, man.
In the olden times when I had a rotary phone, I frequently unplugged it so that I wouldn't have to listen to it.
And you've also got another weapon in your hand. You got the whole phone now.
That's right. But the old phones would be used as a weapon of opportunity. Cannibal was saying that, even as Chuck was saying.
That's right. I'm telling you.
Damn, you're not a great phone.
Silence says you struggle with a phone due to encumbrance limits, like that video we watched earlier. It's fair.
That's right. There's actually, my wife got it for me for a while. There was I'm sure you can still get it, an attachment that you plug into your phone, and it's the receiver, from the.
Oh, you shit me? Really?
Yeah, it was really cool.
Well, I can't say that.
I kept every time I'd pick it up, the cord was only like 8 inches, so the phone would be flopping around and hitting the desk. And I thought I'm just going to bash this phone into nothingness.
That's funny.
Um,
Well, I've got a
there you
I've got a Pit Boy like in Fallout. I can put my phone in it, and it runs just like I've got the old machine on my arm.
go.
So,
There you go.
yeah.
Let's see. Well, the trio of new core books all share the same style and with each other. When does the Kickstarter start? The Kickstarter starts on June 10th. Please sign up for that to get your free copy of the Player's Handbook PDF. And yes, they will all have the same style. The one that's lacking now, of course, is the Monsters and Treasure. That one we brought up to speed. Jeremy is gathering all the files that will go into that, and probably maybe this week, definitely by next week, I will holler at Peter to begin the layout of that book, putting the book itself together. We won't put all the content in because we still got some pictures to go, but it'll start coming together.
We need to drum up a preview PDF, something of those three.
Yeah. We get all that done.
Because M&T's the big one, that's the big change.
Yeah. And Doug Mars, just give Steve a TA312. He'll be happy.
Yep.
I don't know. It's just, I think that somewhere between 1972 and today, there's a happy medium where we could kind of merge the technology with the convenience. I have no idea.
80s
And
is
I don't.
good.
So if you haven't watched it, there's an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia where Dennis, the character, takes a mental health day, and he ends up renting an electric car that's attached to his phone, so he doesn't need keys. And the whole thing is this hilarious adventure about what happens when everything is an app. It's a good episode. So if you haven't watched it, go watch that thing. June 10th, very good. I look forward to it. I have signed up already. Excellent. That's very good, Commander. We will launch that probably about 10 o'clock in the morning is my, I'm going to guess that's about when we launch it. There'll be a hiccup at like 7 minutes to 10. Then we'll have to go and fix it. And it'll be like 10:28 or something like that. But we will.
That's not wrong.
Watch it.
He's not
We'll
wrong.
watch it on the 10. Yeah, it's the troll verse. It's the way it goes. Steve, I need to talk to you about M&T soon. I saw your classifications today. I'll read those tonight or in the morning. But yeah, we need to kind of regroup and see what we're doing. I don't know. We don't have any new art, but some of the stuff coming in, some of the pencils that are coming in are just looking fantastic. I'm very, very excited about the Monsters and Treasures getting this absolute level of art.
I think we all are. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be good. As Professor DeYoung said in 1983 from Stephen's favorite song, "Too Much Technology." Maybe what is that ELO song? Tyler, remember the good old 1980s? 1991. Maybe one of those old-timey wooden box on the wall gramophones with the earpiece. Now you're talking. That would be awesome. That would just be awesome. How's the Weapons and Armor book coming along? It came back from editing today. It is on my desk. I'm going to dive into it probably tomorrow. Do the final check, approve the track changes, whatever, and then off to Peter it goes. I'm hoping layout is relatively fast since he's got all the art done. It's going to be a little bit of headache lining all that stuff up, but Peter is past skill with that. So I'm hoping that by midweek next week we've got a rough PDF to send everybody so you guys see what you're in for. It's going to be fantastic. I got that. The Necro Serpent. I'll send it to the art channel. Excellent. M&T is the song I'm most excited for. It's just going to be the book I'm most excited for. Song, book. It is like a song. It's going to be nice to have it brought up,
Oh, I can't wait. I am so stoked over it. I can't wait.
No more Mr. Roboto, Tyler. No more Mr. Roboto. Let's see. Hooray. This is one I can blah, blah, blah. If you want to share it, it's in there now. Chuck, if you want to grab it and you put it in the art.
Where do you drop it at? Oh, drop it in mine, Jeremy. I don't think we've got with all three of us together. Well, we do, but we don't ever use it.
Oh, my Lord, have mercy.
Is it good?
Yeah. I don't see that, but I see Zoe's Barbed Devil.
Oh, Lord, mercy.
Did you see Asmodeus, Chuck, that came through?
No.
I'll put
Holy cow, dude. Sorry.
Yeah, that thing looks great. What is this, Jeremy? This is the...
It used to be called the Necrodiphius.
Oh, that's right. That is very, very, very cool. Well, let me get. I'm going to put Asmodeus in there. You can go ahead. You can go ahead and drop Asmodeus after you do the worm. We've got the nice thing is we've got Um, we are making such fantastic progress on so many books. Codex Infernum is one of them. The Monsters and Treasures, updated art, that's another one. Codex of the Plains, I'm actually barreling through. I'm not barreling through. I'm working through. It's not easy. This one's not. Hell has actually proven the hardest to do of all of them because
Really?
I'm trying. I'm trying to marry up some of the things that we've all gamed with in Hell for many, many years, but give it its own kind of taste that's very different from the Abyss, and it has I don't know that kind of flavor to it, capturing who is it, Dante and Milton, kind of the essence of what they wrote about in their poetry and stories, along with Wizards of the Coast, and along with some of the kind of the normal tropes, along with making it a little bit more solid. So Hell is proving to be tough, but I'm thoroughly enjoying every flipping minute of it. When will Troll Dash be implemented? If people order food to be delivered to their homes, certainly there's a market for castles and deliveries. We can do castles and crusades. What is it? Mars bars. That's what we need. Castles and crusades, Mars bars. Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to be able to be doing a Troll Dash there, Rick, but we'll see. Maybe if drone technology catches up with whatever technology or something, if things happen that I don't know how they work. So Milton Bradley. Working on Hell is hell. It was interesting. I mean, it's very interesting. The hardest thing I've had is envisioning because this one specifically has the gates of hell, and we all kind of expect to have the gates of hell. But the gates of hell we've got set in the untrodden wall, and that's the gates of hell. But how do you get there? Do you portal? Do you gate right to it? No, you go through what's called the Hell's Breach, and that is the portal that takes you there to the plains of Necronon, and then the Devil's Stare, and then on to the gates of hell. And so I'm having a lot of fun with it, but I'm trying to make it. And if you see this picture of Asmodeus, or Asmodeus, how you say it, that Chuck's going to put up a minute, you'll see kind of what I'm trying to capture. Editing Devils is hell. I very clearly lost patience around Kane's henchmen, and I remained without patience for some time. It gets kind of, well, you're doing the hard part because you're looking at the game mechanics of it. And the game mechanics for me, I just don't care that much about. I want these creatures to be unique, and I want them to be, some of them, like Asmodeus, to be ridiculously powerful. So giving them, and I don't want to do the same thing over and over and over again. When I look at most devils and most demons that appear in most systems of the same creature with a slight nuanced tweak to it, he might have a fire whip and he's got an ice sword or something. I don't want to do any of that. Their powers should be, somewhat in relation to their personality. This is how they manifest. So I tried to do that. And then I tried to make them, and this is the tough part, and this is what Jeremy is having to deal with. I didn't want to just list all of these spells and spell-like abilities that they had. I wanted to kind of move away from that because it makes them hard to play. You got to do so much prep for it. And I get the argument, and Jeremy makes it all the time, that if you're going to be running a high-level thing, you should do a lot of prep. It's not always the case. I've got players that are running amok all over the plains, and they pop into Asmodeus' doorstep. Now I got to do something with Asmodeus, so I'm going to have to stop the game for 2 hours and then commence. No, that's just not going to happen. So it's got to be somewhat playable fast. This was a 3-part series on PBS about Dante's life and his work on Inferno. Oh, I would love to watch that. I'll check it out. Vic Danger. It's got to be on YouTube, I'll bet. Isn't Mars bars just a Snickers? I don't know. I think that's what a Milky Way sort of is, but I don't like. I just like the chocolate Milky Way. I'm a huge fan. I allow myself one little Milky Way a day, and that's
Did
it.
you send me the Asmodeus one?
Well, King Kothar, I'm going to undo your 99%. Trust me, we're not going back to spells. We're not doing that. So this is going to be bounced back and forth. I have to tell you right now, I'm going to undo what you did. That shit's out.
Did you send me that art from Zoe?
It's in the same group chat.
Roger that. I'll find it.
There won't be any discussion, Jeremy.
There's the.
We're not going to have 400,000 spells. Do what, Chuck?
The Necro Serpent's app.
Yeah, that thing is badass. That Necro Serpent is badass. And that kind of gives you the quality of what you're going to see landing throughout the monster book. Orcus needs to be ready as I need him for my Barrow Maze game eventually, although I could use the current version. Yeah, the current version is just weak. He's just weak. I guarantee you right now, I'm running a Sunday game and they're 15th level, reading these monsters. They would cut through these guys like butter. I mean, like butter. And I think that since I'm running 2 high level games, I'm given a little bit more of a reality check to how insanely powerful 15th level characters are in any game. Castles and Crusades is not an exception. So these monsters have to be tough. I mean, they've got to be, and it's got to be something that you can do fast.
Was it in social media or the team chat?
I put it in art for participants. It's right there. I'm looking at it. And Skype. I'll send it to you privately.
Yeah, I'm clearly not in that combo, I don't think.
No, you are. It's literally right underneath Jeremy's little worm thing.
Oh, I've got him lowered at the bottom, importance. I got you. Oh my God, look at that.
Yeah, that thing is insane. Yeah, that's the thing. Silence. They're powerful. I mean, all of it. The amount of damage they're doing around is probably about, on average, I'm going to say about 60, maybe 50 to 60, somewhere around in that. So Asmodeus is dead in 4 melee rounds. I mean, he's out of it because unless he's got some way to protect himself, and he's like the top of the top of the top. So it's the only ones that can stand. I ran a dragon encounter not long ago, and they got the living hell beat out of them. Dragons are insanely powerful in Castles and Crusades. Insanely powerful because the amount of damage they deal out with that damage bonus that they have is huge, which is good, which is the way it should be. I mean, an ancient dragon should not be. You shouldn't be able to take an ancient dragon and cover it in gold, and it flies around or whatever happened in the Hobbit movies. I can't remember whatever insanity was going on in that movie. It should be, it should be something else, something beyond. Did you get Asmodeus up there?
Yeah, he's coming up right now. I got to switch out the picture.
Is it Asmodeus or is it Asmodeus? What is the official pronunciation?
I call him both according to what mood I'm in.
Yeah. I don't know that I've ever. Yes, Jeremy says yes. I don't know if I've ever actually used Asmodeus at the table. I don't know that I have. I know I've done the
years ago with my one high level, the one I had really high level AD&D group. They were about 20th.
Yeah,
they dealt with. They were worshiping Frazo Blue or whatever from Monster Manual 2, one of those guys. And they had to run in with him because he's a devil and that guy's a demon. Anyway,
my favorite was Mommin. I used Mommin a lot. Rock Me Asmodeus. It's a great song. Falco from the day.
Falco. Oh my God.
Dick Danger and Malaki win the internet. I love that song when it came out in '86 or whatever. I don't know when Rock Me Asmodeus came out.
Well, there he is. He's in all of his glory.
Yeah, that thing, Zoe outdid herself. That thing is just fantastic.
It pops so well too,
And the red is just, and she made it. So the one I did with the devils, and I told her to drop the one side of it, but I'm giving 2 pictures for each devil, 2 images. One is their human shape, and one is their actual shape.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So when you're playing them, because the devil wants to look beautiful, it wants to look charismatic, it wants to condense whatever, and it can't if it looks like some blob of barbs coming at you. So some of us, Davis, would probably be more inclined to listen to a blob of barbs than a beautiful man. But by and large,
but for humanoids, typically, you want to present yourself, in at least something they can relate to, right?
Yeah. That's kind of that's kind of the rule.
And then if they want to terrify the shit out of you, then just go into true form.
And going to true form. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm digging both projects, the Codex Infernum, and nicely, Jason has asked me to write up some of the stuff for Codex Exaltum, which I'll do this week. And I'm kind of curious on that thing. I think that there's a biblical description of the seraphim, I think, that has absolutely, it cropped up. I had never paid much attention. I'm sure I've seen it at some point, but it cropped up while we're doing a Kickstarter for Inferno. And it's the winged eyes.
Yeah, I remember that picture or whatever. We had
there's like a dozen wings and a bunch of eyes and no real central form or anything like that. And it kind of triggered my mind into thinking that we really need to revisit all of these creatures and drop the anthropomorphic form on a lot of them, because now the devils fall into a different category because they want to be humans, but a lot of these creatures that are otherworldly are going to just be different. And I think it's very, very difficult to kind of break that thought process that we have, the way we envision things, the way we want them to envision.
Well, you're not gonna,
And
you're not gonna, this, you're not
right.
gonna. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
say
right.
you're not gonna make the mistake of thinking they're like a giant or whatever. You know what I mean? You're gonna be like, oh, what is this? You know?
Yeah, I mean, and the perfect place to look, I think, to kind of, for me, anyways, to kind of knock your mind out of that thought process is just go search online for deep sea fish.
Oh,
I mean, these creatures are so weird. I mean, they're
you're
just
right.
so
You're not
weird.
wrong, man. That's the other
Yeah,
outer
I mean,
space for sure.
yeah, I mean, and they're just weird. I mean, some of them glow from the inside, and I don't know. They're otherworldly. I think they're from a different perspective than what we've got up here, and that's the hard thing I think to do. Any kind of designer has any DM, the CK, whatever is trying to run their game.
Yeah.
It's tough to kind of make it different, and make it something beyond the pale, something Lovecraftian. I mean, to use probably an overburdened term. Um, I mean, the monsters in Lovecraft are weird. They're just weird.
And thinking back to the Monster Manual 2, when they came out with them new set, they were a lot weirder than the originals.
Yeah.
They were a lot weirder.
It's why some of the what is it? What's the blue? Fiend Folio was so good. Book.
Yeah.
And I hated the book because its monsters had so many death attacks, but its monsters were weird. The Grell is just weird. And look, A Wolf Alone and I went right to Lovecraft at the same time.
Yeah, I know. I've got to start reading that stuff again. I haven't read that in 20, 30 years, man. I need to.
Yeah, I finished that one story over the weekend, and it's funny because he described it's the haunted room. I can't remember whatever. I can't remember which one I was reading, but he goes into this other planar area led there by a witch and this little rat-like creature. What story was that, King Kothar? Anyways, he's led into this kind of other dimension, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And then he describes these creatures, and I'm not even going to try to describe them, but kind of, a barrel-like body and 5 tendrils coming out of the top and the bottom. And it was just really cool. And I had to read that description about, I don't know, 4, maybe 5 times before I could kind of absorb an image in my head, because it was so very different than what I'm used to. And I didn't go online and Dreams in the Witch House. Yeah. Didn't go Brown Jenkins. Yeah. I didn't go online to look, what is he trying to describe here? I wanted to let my imagination create whatever it wanted to do based on Lovecraft's jibber jabber. And it was cool. And it was different. It was completely different than other stuff. And that's where I think, particularly with the Celestials, and we're trying to move away from the word angelic, but from the Celestials, we definitely want these creatures to be other than. And that's what I'm writing 10 rune. They're called Rune Lords. They appeared very briefly in the Winter Runes publication back in the 2000s, and then they vanished from all the works that we did. I'm going to bring those back, and there will be Celestials that have no humanoid form and shape. They will be different. A rat with a baby face and a baby hands and a beard. Yes, it was very cool. And then the old hag witch with Jenkins. The story is very, very good. I recommend it to anybody if you haven't read it.
You're reading that in like a book of stories, right?
Yeah. I bought 2 old hardbacks published in the 50s or 60s because they make the paper's light, the hardcovers are made well, and they hold together, and you can read them. As opposed to omnibuses today that are just a mess.
I need to get the titles from you. I'll get them on Kindle and read them with my old man eyes.
Yeah, it's just I try to buy. If I buy a collection of stuff, I try to buy it from 50 years ago because it's going to be made so that you can read it, as opposed to today where it's made so that it can showcase the art around the picture and the glossy pages. Which I don't. When I'm reading a book, I don't need art. I don't need glossy pages. I really just need. That's really all I need. Partial anthropomorphization is always a creep show. It is, and it's when you can adapt it without the reader seeing it. It's really, really cool. And that's just, I don't know. He's the master at it, and we definitely need that into this Celestial book. If everything is weird and horrific and incomprehensible, doesn't that blunt the effect? If everything is weird and nothing is, I know where you're going with that, Jeremy, but I don't think so. I think that. In this instance, it's sort of like Lovecraft. So Lovecraft has something different in every one of his stories. However, if you read this Dreams in the Witch House, I think it's like 60 pages or 50 pages of pretty dense text.
And you don't really see that creature but twice in all 60 pages. Most of those 60 pages is just the story of this young man as he's trying to struggle with school and these horrific nightmares that he's having. And the same thing goes for if you're playing a game, unless you throw those monsters at them, 4 a game or 5 a game. I think that you can make you're not going to blunt your effect of having something different. But even if you're going to do uh, one weird thing a game, I think because it's stretched out, you're still going to be golden. You're not going to blunt it that everything is weird. You certainly will get people used to thinking differently, that these monsters are not going to be walking along blah, 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 blah. But it's sort of like the orc and the bugbear and the hobgoblin. They're all the same creature, right? They have 2 legs and 2 arms and a head and a brain and eyes and ears. Some wear armor, some don't. Some are angry, some aren't. But it's the same creature. But still, because they're spaced out somewhat, we as gamers don't see them as the same creature. Let's see. For Lovecraft, the idea is that everything is, and that the human mind cannot deal with it, and so creates a kind of psychosis to protect it from direct truth, and that occasionally fails to engage. I love that concept. And I think that, and I think if nothing else, when you're looking at something different, it can trigger your mind into going somewhere else with your game. And that certainly was what Lovecraft would do. Following that logic, it would seem that places like heaven would be very ungameable, or else you spoil the effect. No, I don't think so at all, Jeremy. I completely disagree with that. Completely. No, I think that you can have something that's very weird or otherworldly and still play in it and still have fun. The challenge, I think, on the Celestials is going to be, and I think Jason is up to the challenge. He'll be writing it. Yep. The challenge is going to be making the Celestials not do evil things, but not do things that are helpful to you. The idea that, and a perfect example is in the world of Erd, the god Corthane. He's the lawful good god. But in no point, if you're reading the Codex of Erd, do you come away thinking that this guy is going to help me if I'm a good person. No. Because he's not. Corthane could give a flying crap about any of that.
The paladin at my table has never made the 1% roll ever. And that's I told you, he just doesn't give a shit about you. He tears him up.
He doesn't care. His thing is law and good. And if you deviate, whatever. But he doesn't pay any attention, because paying attention goes against the grain of law.
It's beneath him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, everything's stated, right? It's a law.
He's an ass through the whole book. I mean, he's just an ass. He doesn't hesitate to rip people's power away without judgment, without question. There's no counsel. There's no consultation.
You will learn.
Yeah, he comes in and does things because he's an ass.
I mean, that whole Pantheon dude is just off the chain.
I actually really enjoy the Pantheon. But no, I don't think it makes it ungameable. I think that any kind of good aligned plane or monsters, it's kind of an oxymoron. I mean, a monster is not good. A monster is something that's supposed to be a monster, right? So I think that running anything like that is challenging for the CK. We'll see how it plays out.
Keep this in mind, too. Everything's subjective. So let's talk about the psychosis for a moment. Just what I see and what you may see, how our mind deals with it, could be completely off the chain different,
Right.
So really, anything we present is just help. It's just a suggestion, something to start with, to build on your own. Again, it's your game. It's your table.
Yeah, and you can look at how people respond to insects. Some people look at a spider and they're terrified.
I'm terrified of them. I can't stand insects.
Yeah, some people look at a spider and can pick it up. I mean, they just don't care. And so how people deal with all that stuff is very, very different. Yeah. An orc, a bugbear, and a hobgoblin walk into a bar. There you go. The challenge of creating a celestial would be to make them beautiful in an unearthly, creepy way. Yes, there you go, Vic Danger. That's the thing. And no nuance, no grace, no mercy. Yes. Over all my years of DMing, I always had new players start with the fighter because it was simple to play and understand. Now that I'm CKing, there is no simple character, any chance of giving. I would say, in my estimation, Kenneth, that the fighter is the simple character. The fighter 2 attacks at first level and 3 at 10th. Also, not a big fan of how players can figure out what level my monsters are just by having the fighter attack and see how many attacks.
That's some shit my players pull right there.
That's funny. I never thought about that. Yeah, that's some people thinking too hard about paying attention to it. I actually have found the fighter, Kenneth, we've had this conversation on stream quite a few times. I find the fighter to be almost the perfect character in Castles and Crusades. if you go weapon specialization, he's much more powerful than you think, especially when he starts gaining levels and he starts leaving folks behind. It doesn't sound like having a -3 over everybody else is a lot, but it's a lot, especially when you get up into the higher stuff. So I think the fighter, it's simple enough and it's easy enough and it's still powerful enough that it can wade into the combat at any level. Clerics too are pretty simple, except of course the spells. You got to do the spells, and that's always a thing. Rangers, depending on how you CK it, do what?
It's a run warrior piece, and then you don't want to cast any spells.
That's true. The ranger, if you don't go too heavy on the tracking, can be pretty easy because it's got. I mean, it's pretty standard stuff. But generally speaking, when I have someone new at the table and they really don't know what's going on, I just have them play a fighter.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Lots of attribute checks rolling. All right, I think we are about winding down. Did we do a raffle today, or do we have some questions?
No, but we do have something interesting. I let it go because you were in a battle with Kothar. Death Angel Shadow over at YouTube said, according to Wikipedia, mileage may vary, the Mars bar was discontinued in 2002, then revived as Snickers Almond.
What? It had no nuts in it.
So I guess they upgraded. I don't know. I'm agreeing with you.
That's
It was on nougat before, right?
That's like the cookie. My favorite cookie was a lemon cookie made by Jumbo.
Oh yeah.
Green and white bag, Jumbo. Best cookie ever, in my humble opinion. I think it's Nestle bought that cookie in 2018 and discontinued it. I think it was Nestle. I won't buy Nestle product.
Steve doesn't have a list of things that are banned. He has a list of things that are approved. It's much shorter.
Yeah, that's right. I'm pretty sure it's Nestle that did that, so I quit buying the product.
That's funny, dude.
It's in the Milky Way. Yeah, it's the same thing. Milky Way and Mars bar are the exact same thing, I think. At least the Zero Horse was. The lemon cooler was made by Sunshine Cookies, and it was heaven on earth. Yeah, it's the Jumbo lemon cookie. Jumbo was the company, I think.
Was it iced?
Do what?
Was it iced? Like had just a little bit of frosting on that glaze,
no,
or whatever?
It had nothing on it.
Of course not. I should have known. Why did I even ask that question? That should. What am I thinking?
Here, I'll put save image as. I'm going to just give this to you, Chuck. You can put it up in the stream if you can manage it. I don't know what's going on. It's craziness. And that wasn't the bag I grew up with. That's probably what Nestle did for 5 minutes before they shut it down. Bastards. There's no justice in the world. First the phone.
Oh, yeah, those dudes. I remember those.
Yeah, it's delicious cookie. Wait until Nestle buys Dr. Pepper. I actually said today somewhere, I think on Facebook, I'm going to have to get that recipe because they put out some Dr. Pepper gravy or something. I don't know what that was about. And that just needs to all stop. It just needs to all stop. Archie used to make molasses cookies that I loved, and they are also gone. Yeah, what is up with this? Killing the cookie stuff. So I heard an email rumor that Crusader Magazine may be coming back. Yes, indeed. We have plans for it. I will know probably by the end of the week where we are going to land.
What was that?
The Crusader. Yes,
they're already talking about in the streets. Look at that. They've been out there talking about it, running around. The news people are ringing bells and shit, you know. Oh, here comes the lemon cookie.
Some genuine emotion from Steve. Yes, there's not much I care about, and I don't eat a lot of cookies. Man, those cookies were good. Now I'm just sad. I need to figure out. I'm gonna make my own. Kathy's a pretty good cook. Maybe she'll make me some jumbo cookies. This is what I think I can get Mars bars on Amazon. Sonic has Dr. Pepper and dill. Why? The foreign Mars bars aren't the same as the U.S. ones. The foreign version is a Milky Way in the U.S. That's what I ate when I was in Paris hanging out. I got Mars bars, and that's what I ate them. But there you go. Have you tried a lemon up from the girl's house? I have not. I did not know there was a lemon cookie. I'll give it a shot. I love lemon.
Lemon's my favorite dessert of all. I mean, I like chocolate, but there's something about lemon being refreshing. You know?
There's this place called, and I don't know if it's a nationwide chain. It's Bunt Cakes, nothing but cakes. Is that a local thing? Probably. And they make this cupcake cake that's lemon flavored with this icing and this lemon goo in the middle.
In the middle? It's awesome.
Yeah, I only eat like
big old glass of milk, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't drink milk with it, but I only eat. I'll buy one about every 4 months. I buy one, and it'll take me about.
Oh, you
3
nibble
days
on
to-
it. I got you. I got you.
just because it's so much out, it's just delicious, crazy delicious.
Oh my God! I think he said bunt. Not sure. He might have said
Is
butt.
it
I'm
bu-
not
is
sure.
it butt cake? I don't know. I don't
Bunt. B-U-N-T for the love of God. Oh my God.
There you go.
Yeah,
Nothing but cake. Yeah,
B-U-N-D-T.
probably not a good good cake.
Well, Torlock says you can get Mars bars in Canada. Time to get him and Willie start hauling them across the border.
Right, it's time to go up.
All right,
Lemon
man.
Kit Kats. Good heavens! All right, on this now that we all want to go have some cake and lemon cookies,
Yeah.
let's wind this down.
All
I
right.
got some New York strips to throw on the
Nice.
whatever, cook them up. So
All right. Well, thanks everybody for coming out. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm gonna try to stream in the morning. We'll see how I feel, guys. It's a 50-50. We'll see. Probably do it, and then I'll get on stream and feel like crap and look like crap, and you'll be like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'll be just like, I look like I've been under the sun. I'm like burned
yeah,
up.
you're looking kind of rough. It's been a rough couple of weeks for you.
I may skip tomorrow. I want to, but it's probably better if I don't. I don't know. I'll probably wait on next week just so I can get a little bit.
I felt kind of bad when I said, "Hey, go sit on the beach because if you're going to die,
I
you're
know.
going to die on the beach instead of the hotel room." And then you told me later, "Man, I thought I was going to die."
Well, supposedly from the hours of 11 to 3, I'm not supposed to be under any sunlight.
Oh, wow.
But I was like,
Is that a
screw it.
vampire
I'm a
thing?
troll. I had flames coming off of me. No, it wasn't that bad. Well, now
All
that
right, on that
now that
note-
John's here, we'll get out of here. He's showed up.
Now
With
that John has joined. Thank you all for showing up. We'll be back. If not tomorrow, we'll be back here Thursday.
Yeah.
And we will be doing a special stream tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So join us tomorrow night for another special announcement. We will be jibber jabbering.
It will be a good one. So don't miss it.
All right.
All right. You guys
Take
have
it
a great
easy,
evening. We'll see y'all later.